Good afternoon. My name is Linda Netzer, and I'd like to welcome you to our webinar for BIM for Facilities Management, a primer for higher educational institutions. A little bit about Applied Software. We are an Autodesk authorized education partner. We were founded in 1982, and we are one of the largest Autodesk resellers in the United States. We are an authorized training center, and we offer a broad range of classes from introductory to mastery level instruction. And Platinum partners provide their customers with best-in-class full solutions from pre- and post-sale support, consulting, training, implementation, and customization. Today we're going to talk about a couple of different items that have to do with facilities management. We're going to talk about the paradigm shift. We're going to talk about overall changes in the industry and terminology. We want to focus in on productivity acceleration. And finally, we want to discuss licensing changes from Autodesk so you all can be up to date on understanding what's going on in Autodesk. So today I ask you to think about where your workflows and processes are today when it comes to construction projects on your campuses. Many of you have done things a certain way for many years, but it's in the nature of education to challenge the status quo and jump in with an open mind into new operational mindsets. I'm just going to do a quick review of what is BIM for people who may be on the line who may be unfamiliar with the term. Building Information Modeling, and it's about the information. So just remember that. On the left-hand side of your screen, you'll see where it says, what is BIM? And this is going to talk about what BIM is not. BIM is not 3D. BIM is not data. BIM is not 3D plus data, and BIM is not software. BIM is a process, an intelligent 3D model-based process. BIM provides for insight for creating and managing projects faster, more economically, and with less environmental impact. BIM will help you solve some problems, some construction management problems, cost management problems, capital planning and space management, and facilities management. Now, this data that I have here is from a BIM Smart Market report that was produced in 2012, so it's a little bit dated, but you can get an idea of how much BIM has grown in adoption in the area of the country that you are from. And there is a lot of hospital work in the West, which is why the numbers jumped up so high there. But we're going to talk more about the benefits of BIM. But collaboration, spatial coordination, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, prefabrication, constructability review, and visualization are a few of the benefits that these customers have, that these BIM adopters have seen. And I broke these numbers down a little bit more for you, and you can see on the left-hand side, architects, engineers, and contractors. Really, the contractors have grabbed it first and quickest, but the architects and engineers are not far behind when you compare 2009 to 2012. And on the right-hand side, you see the firm size that have grasped it, and the large firms in these categories have been quicker adopters. Now, I want to interrupt myself for a moment. I forgot to say this in the beginning. This is a great opportunity for you to ask questions, and we have a chat bar. My colleague Moore will be there reading those questions, and he will interrupt me to ask those questions. So please get those questions in for us if there's something that comes up that doesn't make sense. So here's a little bit of more information drilling down for facilities management. As we said before, BIM is a process, and Autodesk provides the authoring tools. And facilities managers do not need to be experts in CAD or 3D modeling. It's about collaboration. BIM is about managing the FM data and virtual construction. And it's important to note that BIM is not about more work, it's about smarter working. All types of projects, from housing to hospitals, from residence halls to renovations, BIM is incredibly useful. And it's important to note that project size does not matter. BIM will become the standard It's important for facilities managers today to get ahead of this trend. BIM will allow FM to focus on post-occupancy activities, and facilities managers will need to support the collection and interpretation and analysis of the data earlier in the process. Facilities departments need new skills to engage with BIM and meet greater efforts on the front end of project development. Now, a lot of people ask me, well, BIM sounds just fantastic, but how do we actually use it? It's broken down into two areas, project uses and operational uses. I've got a kind of a graphic there that talks about them in different kinds of ways, and my message to you is there's a lot of things about BIM that can really be applicable, and this next slide is going to kind of break that down for you and show you how that is moved into your construction process. So on the left-hand side is kind of that graphic from earlier, but in list form. And on the right-hand side, you'll see in the center the project information repository, and I call the little man with the red line through the center is kind of your key person. That could be a BIM manager or a CAD manager or a project manager, but it's the key person who receives the data from the project. And so on the left-hand side is the functionality. It moves through the project information, comes into the man with the red line at the owner level, and then at the bottom right you'll see the project managers are also pushing things into the owner level, and at the top the business processes for management are coming into the center. And so that's kind of how all of this stuff works together. And there's been a new Smart Market report that came out in 2014, and this has some really interesting information I wanted to share. In the United Kingdom, BIM is a mandate from the government, and so you can kind of see how that plays out in a comparable environment of the United States. So in the United States, only 25% of owners require BIM, and in the UK, 68%. Well, that makes sense because they're required to do it. And and then the flip statistic is that BIM is encouraged but not required more in the United States, and no policy, very few in the UK, and a substantial amount. So there's some room to grow here. But I wanted to share this with you, not because I'm encouraging our government to have a mandate, but because I'm encouraging you as an owner to encourage BIM more, because you can see that there are benefits. As you compare it on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see where the UK owners are really gaining benefit in comparison to the US owners. So there's some really great benefits to grab here. I'm just going to go through them real quick. The BIM visualization, this enables a better understanding of the proposed design. There are fewer problems in construction due to design errors, coordination or construction errors. BIM analysis and simulation capabilities, and this is a byproduct of working in a 3D model. It will produce a more well-reasoned design. And the use of BIM creates a beneficial impact on the project schedule. And the last one is about construction costs. These are very important things, and this is where the return on investment comes with BIM. Here we go. Got ahead of myself here. And this Smart Market report in 2014, and you can look it up. It's a great report if you haven't read it. And I just sort of adapted some of their recommendations to share with you. Their recommendation was embrace it, it's worth the effort, and identify your organization's BIM goals. BIM planning is the key regardless of the delivery method of your project, and it's important to measure your progress, insist on accountability, and remain open to process and innovation, because this is a new and exciting process for construction projects, and if you're new to it, you've got to keep working at it for a while until it becomes second nature. And staying with it, obviously, is important as well. Explore extending BIM to facilities management. So it's not just the construction group, but it's also the facilities management group that needs to leverage the BIM data after construction and ensure timely data transfer from construction firms. And explore how your existing FM software and processes lend themselves to BIM. Many of you have some great programs out there, a lot of which we're familiar with, and we'd be happy to talk with you about how your FM software can more closely integrate with new buildings that come online. So a lot of people ask me, where do we get started? Sounds great. BIM's, there's some benefits that we could take advantage of that could be helpful. So my advice to you is to build from the ground up. Take a look at all of your processes and focus on providing digital solutions to traditional processes. So think about how you've always done things and see if there are some digital solutions through BIM that you might be able to apply. And this goes right to my next slide, which is to develop new ways to solve old problems. This is one thing that you can focus in on is your staffing and how things are organized. So these are just some job titles of people that may be very interested or may need to be changed around their responsibilities so they can participate in your BIM initiative. So your IT staff, data architects, CIOs, CTOs, virtual design and construction directors, and CAD and BIM managers. Now, BIM's been around for a while, so if you're not new to this game, but you're still trying to figure out how to implement it, you definitely want to address some BIM hang-ups that have been kind of out there for a while. So, a lot of people promise that BIM would be a game changer, and it is, but it takes time. So address these delayed promises. Communicate your BIM intentions with the entire community. This is something we've found out here really is very effective for driving these value benefits. And you want to deal with lack of proper training. This is something we've seen as a common pitfall. And sometimes project information can be pushed into silos. You want to try to work against that. And you want to explore automation of existing processes. I mentioned that earlier. And you want to eliminate redundant software. So a lot of your processes might be redundant. So you want to get some help to look at that. And the same Smart Market report talked about your BIM consultants. And this is something that I think is very interesting on, if you're going to search for outside help, make sure they measure up. So do they know all BIM perspectives, designs, contractors, and owners? Study their BIM execution plans and check for milestones and budgetary pricing. This information should be included. And do they understand project delivery, contracts, licensing, liability, business procedures, and your culture? They should be able to provide implementation guidance, training, videos, follow-up for internal use in project teams, and make sure that they have software skills and they deliver intended results and set up end-user review of deliverables to ensure quality. And seek consultants who understand industry workflows and who help automate processes rather than bill a lot of hours. Now, this is a great place to stop. Dave, are there any questions?
Hi, Linda. No questions at this time.
Okay, great. Well, then I'm going to keep going. So here are your steps to get started or expand your BIM proficiency. These are some things that we have learned here at Applied Software that can really help you figure all this out. Start with a champion. Maybe it's you. Commit effort from IT to administration to explore BIM. Hold a BIM charrette for the wider campus community to expand the conversation and gain buy-in, because this is not something that one person can drive. And the entire community needs to be on board so they can participate in entering in the data. Review facilities management needs, especially in regards to new construction, and get involved earlier in the process. And use an experienced array of talented applied software to streamline planning and execution of new buildings, renovations, and planning. Our proven methodology with educational institutions is available for you. Let's discuss our work with Georgia Tech, University of Central Florida, and others throughout the United States. You'll want to analyze your technology infrastructure for BIM. What tools will you need? Software, hardware, networks, and physical workspaces. This is a great segue to start talking about some of the things that have changed in Autodesk. A few years ago, Autodesk's entire portfolio of design and engineering products are now free for academic use. It's no longer free for other uses, including facilities management, housing, physical plant, transportation, and some research departments. If an Autodesk license is being used by a teacher or a student for academic purposes, that use is eligible for free licenses. If this applies to you, and we do have some people that sign on to these webinars from time to time, please go to this website, autodesk.com/education, to access your free software. And we appreciate you teaching Autodesk to your students. We think that's a fabulous thing. And we look forward to talking with you more. If you have any problems with your academic licensing, please give me a call, and I'll help you with that. So, Applied Software, we have a number of educational experts. We've been working with institutions all over the United States in navigating Autodesk's licensing changes and facilities management departments. We've got a proven process that will help you economize your purchase and leverage our team of experts to grow your BIM proficiency from the ground up. And please ask us for references. We have access to best pricing using our Autodesk Platinum Partner buying power and GSA schedules. And Applied Software will support your IT teams with free assistance throughout the installation procedure. Applied Software is part of a unique Autodesk program to help our customers analyze and evaluate their Autodesk software usage across numerous workstations. And I am going to be introducing our Autodesk manager for this in just a minute, Chris. Well, he'll be coming on in just a second. Utilize Applied Software's training consulting expertise to further each department's CAD tasks. And as part of our service, we will produce a cost of ownership analysis for all of your options so you can make the best choice. You can expect world-class customer service and care throughout the process. Your dedicated education team will be there every step of the way. Chris, are you there?
I am, Linda. Can everybody hear me?
I think they can. Thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure.
I'm going to let you take it away and talk about software asset management.
I'm going to let you drive the slides since I don't have access to it, but I have it on.
That's fine.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
So my name is Chris Munson. I run the software asset management program here at Autodesk, and Applied Software is one of Autodesk's few approved software asset management partners. And if there are opportunities for you to understand better what your license allocations, installations, and usage is for Autodesk software in your environment, both from an education point of view, but more importantly from your facilities management point of view, please do contact Applied Software to go through a SAM engagement, and I'll explain some of the benefits for going through one of these engagements. First item here is about enhanced productivity. Truly, you want to make sure you understand where your end users, especially in the facilities management groups, have the appropriate commercial licenses to be able to do their day-to-day jobs, managing facilities, maybe designing new facilities, etc. There are tools that we provide. Autodesk provides a tool called the Autodesk Inventory Advisor that allows you to scan for the actual installation of software in your environment to help validate that, yes, you have commercial licenses on the appropriate PCs rather than educational licenses. The tools we provide do reduce the strain on your IT organization to be able to find the necessary information, because we do identify with our tools the Autodesk serial number, which is essentially the DNA of the license, which would explain if it's an education use license or a commercial use license. Also, you have access to materials and product support that really truly make your employees more productive by understanding what licenses are available to them. Next line. Another item here is you have improved purchase planning and license management through the process. Truly, it helps you understand your upgrades and reduce the hassle in trying to manage the licenses on a real-time environment rather than looking at the year-end. If you can look at licenses periodically as to what's installed, it'll help you manage your licenses and your costs more effectively. And also making sure you understand what software is used on what PCs and what locations. Reduce risk. Okay, and again, helps you reduce risks. A few risks that it really will help with is, again, tracking and documenting your software licenses accordingly. Go ahead and click. Great. And also eliminate and reallocate unused software. There's a lot of times where customers might have Autodesk software sitting in a closet, and they're just not aware that they can continue to use that. Going through a SAM engagement with Applied and with Autodesk will help you understand what licenses are still usable for appropriate applications. Also, you want to make sure you're not in a non-compliant situation. If for some reason Autodesk had seen some unusual activity regarding your licenses and we had to reach out to actually do an audit, we want to make sure that you're in a good position so you don't have to be concerned about paying damages for non-compliant licenses. Again, SAM helps alleviate those kinds of concerns. Also, there are additional support for licenses of Autodesk software. We want to make sure that you do register your licenses so you can be entitled to support for your software as well.
Great, Chris. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. All right, so the next couple of slides are going to talk a little bit more about our process here at Applied Software for helping our customers in the educational market figure out what to do here. So the first step is discovery. How is your staff using Autodesk software today? How do they wish they were using it? What skills do they have? And you can see up here, this is a snapshot of a survey that we did at a school a few months ago, and we talked about what software they're using. We're asking them what percentage of their day do they use it, or their week, and what titles are they using. So we're able to match this up with the software titles the way they are now and how we can economize your purchase decisions. It's important to know some items about Autodesk's upcoming business model change. Autodesk is moving from a perpetual license, which is the classic way to buy Autodesk software, towards a pay-as-you-go program called desktop subscription. This is only going to affect how new seats are purchased. So if you already have commercial licenses in your office, then those licenses will not be changed. Some perpetual products are being discontinued in January of 2016, and our top seller products for our educational customers can be licensed on a perpetual mode only until July 31st, 2016. I'm going to drill down a little bit more on this so you understand what's going on. Again, existing perpetual contracts will be renewed when the time comes. And we do have some recommendations for navigating these changes. For higher education, we are recommending purchasing additional perpetual suites for as long as you can to head off pricing increases. We're going to talk a little bit more about this real briefly. So here's the desktop subscription. This is the new way to buy Autodesk software. And as of July of next year, it will be the only way to buy Autodesk software. So the number one thing that's really great about it is there's a lower cost of entry. And you can easily ramp up and scale down your license count as you proceed, and this is where the value is. You'll still have the access to the latest tools, and you reduce your risk. So as job requirements change, as personnel changes, having a desktop subscription license means you can get rid of it when you don't need it. So we're going to break it down into advantages and disadvantages. And you can think about what really works for you. You buy and pay only for what you need as an advantage, and you get rid of licenses you don't need. You can get multi-year contracts, and where the value really is monitoring your license use, and this can ultimately be a savings. And again, go back to using the SAM tools and taking care of you, and having Applied Software as your partner will help you monitor this license use. It moves Autodesk into an operating expense rather than a capital expense, which is something that may be very interesting for you on a cash flow basis. There's some disadvantages, and if you have a steady business outlook, like you expect that the people who are using Autodesk software today are going to continue using it for a long time, there is overall higher long-term pricing. So between now and July, if you can get a perpetual license and you have a steady business outlook, that's how we come down on that decision. There's no network activation at this time, but this is changing, so keep an eye on that development. There's restricted previous version access right now, but again, that is changing. And the named users must be managed. There's no sharing of these licenses, so that can be a disadvantage in higher education. And Autodesk is continually increasing prices on the perpetual model. So when you buy a perpetual license today, which you can until July again, you buy that perpetual license plus a maintenance subscription. So this may be what you have in your office right now. And as an incentive to move customers to the pay-as-you-go model, Autodesk will be raising prices on Autodesk maintenance subscription. And past history is that renewals have gone up at 5% every year. If you choose to go with perpetual while it is still available, we recommend consideration of a 3-year subscription contract to head off these pricing increases. So with both the maintenance subscription and the desktop subscription, you're going to get some of these really great benefits. First of all, you're going to get automatic upgrades. So you're going to get the next version of the software as soon as it is available. This is very valuable because most universities and colleges, when they're working with their construction companies, almost all of them are on the current version. So it's really important so you avoid costly workarounds to stay current on your licenses. Predictable budgeting, obviously, you can plan for this. Flexible licensing rights, previous version rights, home use rights, and extended territory rights. And there's additional cloud services and analysis tools. And I'd be happy to take this conversation offline and discuss with you how these tools work and how you can access them. Now, for our education clients, Autodesk has a very broad portfolio. I kind of narrowed it down for you to talk about the 2 main products that most people are interested in this market. About the Building Design Suite on the left side, and on the right side you've got the Infrastructure Design Suite. And you don't need to quickly copy this down, but just really take note of the letters in red. So on the Building Design Suite Standard, the primary product is AutoCAD. And on the Building Design Suite Premium, that has AutoCAD, but it also has Revit. And on the Ultimate, it has AutoCAD, it has Revit, and it has Manage. So these are the 3 main titles that drive these suites. And typically for now, the suites are a better value because you do get these additional products. And on the right-hand side, the same thing. Look at the red letters. The AutoCAD Civil 3D, and Navisworks Manage are the main drivers of the individual suites. If you'd like to talk about what Autodesk product might be good for your office, please give me a call at the end or ask a question, and we can get a product specialist on the phone. We can do a demonstration for you and help you figure that information out. And finally, I wanted to talk about DLT and Applied Software Partnership. They are the master government reseller with Autodesk in the public sector since 1996. State-funded and partially state-funded schools qualify for discounted government pricing through DLT Solutions with ASTI as the technical reseller. There are multiple government contract vehicles, so please talk to us. And DLT has hired a really terrific guy, Donald, who is our representative working very closely with education clients. And so we are very excited to be working with Donald and DLT. I'm going to stop right there, and I'm just about to wrap up here, but I wanted to take a moment and see if there were any questions. Mr. David?
I don't see any at this time.
Okay, very good. Well, right here is our contact information. My email's really easy, linda@asti.com. Please give me a call or an email after the presentation, and we really appreciate your time, and we look forward to speaking with you. That is the end of the webinar. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.